I think the marriage area is one of the most attractive topics for Vedic astrology. For me, maybe it's because I have Jupiter in Libra with Venus in my Rashi chart, so these topics are always gaining a lot of attention. So in today's video, we'll be going through 4 marriages of Doris Day, and we will go through their stars, so how to time them, nature of the marriage, nature of the spouse, the divorce and death for these specific relationships, how to time them, and also the profession. We will go through each spouse profession and we will appreciate how this is very clearly detailed in the Navamsha if we have properly rectified Navamsha chart and also we are using the proper dasha. Okay, so let's start with the first marriage, which was Al Jordan. This was very early in life, around 15, 16, and this marriage was quite violent. The person was very jealous. This was in the dasha Venus Rahu. First of all, if we open the relationship chart Navamsha, 7th house is showing the first marriage, 2nd house is the second marriage, 9th house is the third marriage, and 4th house is the 4th marriage. You have to count 8 houses from the previous one to get the next marriage. But the 7th is the first one. Also the 7th house will show the general patterns, preferences, the sexuality, and the general nature and attitudes. If we look at the 7th house, something is off there. We have Saturn in Aries, which is the worst sign. Saturn is debilitated in Aries. And 7th Lord is in the 5th house. This is show someone who is forced to marriage. Apart from that, we see that this happened in the Venus Rahu. Now for the Antardasha, the dispositor is very important tool because often it will very accurately depict the time when something is opening for us. So Venus Rahu, 7th Lord Mars is in Aquarius. And we know that Aquarius and Virgo, these both signs are lorded by Rahu. So we have the timing right. By the way, we can also say that the Libra Navamsha is right because the accident she had was in Venus Rahu. Rahu is the 12th Lord and both planets are in the 8th. So if you had surgery, if you had any accidents or any health issues, then if Navamsha is properly rectified, it will activate these 2 unfortunate houses, 8 and 12. And the profession now. He was the trombonist. This is the musician. Musicians are signified by the sun, but they are in the sector of entertainment because the sun may show also other things. So we see in the Rashi chart, Upapada is in the Taurus. In the Navamsha, we need to count 10th, which is the career life, from the 7th house, which is showing the spouse. So this is career of the spouse, which is 10th from the 7th. That will be the 4th house. So just count the 4th in the Navamsha. And we have the sun there, which is showing the musician. Maybe the aspect of Venus, this is opening that feature of the sun, which is more related to music than, for example, other sun significators like administration, being a director, or political work. Now we can straight away see that this 8th house in the Rashi chart doesn't look good. We have this Mercury, which is Darakaraka. This is the relationship significator on the soul level, spirit level, afflicted by 2 fiery planets. The Mercury hate being afflicted by fiery planets and is debilitated. So it's quite bad. This is usually showing some conflicts or problems, legal issues, financial issues. And we will go there, but for the first marriage, this was the violence. We can see straight away 7th Lord, Mars, Saturn, this Yama Yoga in the Navamsha, and the challenges in the marriage which are in the 2nd house from Upapada. Especially the Lord will control the overall situation. And Mercury afflicted these conflicts can also bring the violence or jealousy if the Mars is also there. So we had the first marriage, and when it ended, when was the divorce? Very, very early, Now, 8th Lord is Venus in own sign, and when Venus is in own sign, it's giving the effects of Jupiter. So Jupiter is a very strong candidate for the divorce. Also in the Rashi chart, it's the 8th Lord in the 2nd house, very afflicted. So Jupiter will have no sentiments. Especially if there will be some violence, right? He is the significator for ahimsa. So if the marriage will be bad, if the partner is bad, he will definitely want to bring some dharma, some nice situation. Now we have George Wadler, which is the 2nd spouse, and he was the saxophonist. So again, we have musician. And guess what? We have to count 10 from the 2nd, because 10th is the profession, 2nd is the 2nd spouse in the Navamsha. So we need to look for the 11th Lord, and the 11th Lord is lorded by the Sun again. So both for the first marriage, we have Sun in 4th house, and for the 2nd marriage, we have Sun lording the 10th from the 2nd, which is the profession of the 2nd spouse. So again, if we use the Navamsha, we have properly rectified Navamsha. If we are using the proper zodiac, the sidereal zodiac, we got the details right. And when this marriage started, it was in Venus-Saturn. So Mars is the 2nd Lord too, and it's in the Aquarius, and Saturn is lording again the Aquarius. So Saturn is the 2nd dispositor of the 2nd Lord, Mars. So we see 7th Lord was 1st spouse, was also in Aquarius. Rahu, Antardasha, the sub-period, brought the 1st marriage. Now 2nd Lord is also Mars, and the other dispositor, Saturn, brought the marriage. So again, in these both situations, the dispositor of the Lord in the Navamsha brought the marriage. Always there will be very direct link to the house of marriage in the Navamsha. So if there are challenges in timing the marriage, then there could be 2 choices. One is that the Navamsha is badly rectified, or we are using the wrong dasha. For this, we are using the Utpana dasha, of course, because the moon is in the 11th house. Now we have debilitated moon with the Ketu. This may show some challenges to self-esteem, and we know that George Wadler had really fought with this fame of days, career life, because it was going up and he somehow felt overshadowed. Similar situation will be in the 4th one, and therefore it didn't survive. And we can see that again, for timing the potential divorce, we need to see 2nd from the particular house of marriage. This is the 2nd marriage, so 2nd from 2nd will be 3rd. 3rd Lord is Jupiter with the Mercury, and the divorce happened in Mercury sub-period, Mercury Antardasha. In the Rashi, we see 7th Lord, Rahu Saturn, not well placed, right, in the 2nd house. And relationship to Venus is 6-8. This will usually show the relationship in the person's life will be quite problematic. Venus is in the 9th house in the Rashi chart, which shows that marriages will have very big impact on the directions of life. Unfortunately, the 7th Lord are in the 2nd afflicted. So on one hand, they will bring a lot of finances and good guidance in this matter. We know that 3rd spouse was also the manager of Doris Day's, but there was a big upside down when it comes to the situation of finances, because after his death, Doris get to know that he was involved in many hidden financial transactions, and one of them was that he signed her into the TV show without her knowledge, and she had to follow this agreement after his death, and she was forced to do so because of her very big financial debts. We can see how 7th Lord of marriage, both Saturn and Rahu, how they are connected to the Mercury and 2nd house, which is showing the finances, but there is this Parivartana, Mercury and Jupiter. So it can go from good to bad, then from bad to good, and we will see such twists in the karmic situation related to both marriage and then after that following the financial situation. In fact, it can happen to both first, second, and third marriage, because first marriage is 7th Lord, they are connected to this yoga. Second marriage is 2nd house, this yoga is in the 2nd house. And the third marriage is Mars, 9th Lord, is an own sign, which is giving results to the Saturn. So again, connection to this. In fact, the biggest problem was in the third marriage after the death of the spouse. And we can only get this from the Navamsha. So to determine which marriage will give the biggest situation and how really this will affect the person, you cannot get this from the Rashi chart. This is not possible. You can only get the connection of the areas, but how, when, and for which child or marriage or guru or whatever person or entity is involved. It could be also house in D4. This you can get only with going to the Varga chart. And we can do this because in Vedic astrology we have those dedicated chart, the Varga charts. Okay guys, so that's it for today. I hope you find this interesting and informative. If you do, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Join our Discord community if you'd like to see this marriage narrative or timing situation for yourself. Please hit me up with this email here and we can schedule the personal consultation for you. Join our Discord community, and if you are still hungry, please consider watching this one.